So create the content and the stories out of your life. What do you have going on right now? How are you preparing for the holidays? How are you preparing for 2024? What are some things that you're doing in your life, right? Story content thrives on LinkedIn. Now let's talk a little bit about content. And then we're going to get into the money, right? How did I make 200,000? I'm going to wrap up with that. So content on LinkedIn that I find that does really well, right, are two pieces that I'm going to share with you because I like to give you all micro things to do. I don't want to give you something that's going to overwhelm you. So these are two pieces of content that you can be creating on there that's going to get more engagement. And the reason we want more engagement is it gives us an opportunity to get in deeper conversation with people who are following us. So what I don't like is when people have a whole bunch of followers, but they're not using them. It's like you got 8,000, 10,000 followers, but they're not even talking to you. What does it matter? Right. So we have to work on our engagement so that the people who are following us can see us and get into more conversation with us, ultimately to do more business, make more money. Right. So one piece of content that has worked really well for me has been storytelling. Right. So, and you can do that going live like I am today. So shouts out to everybody that's here from LinkedIn. Or you can do that by writing out stories. LinkedIn is a platform that loves to see the written work, right? They love language. So commit to telling a story once a week. And it doesn't have to be a story that's dramatic or traumatic. It could just be about your day in the life of your work. It could be some tips that you've learned. Some stories that I've been telling recently are books that I've been reading and things that I've learned from them. I recently read the book Fanatical Prospecting, and I shouted out the author of the book on LinkedIn, and he actually got back and said, "Thanks, Evolve." And that was cool. We're connected now. So you just never know. So if you're reading a book, if you're watching a really cool show that's connected, if there's an article that you read, if you had a day in the life of your work that was hard or that's something that you want to celebrate, these are great stories to share. People want to hear about you and your humanity, who you are as a human, who you are and how you're developing. Another story that I've been telling consistently is I'm studying sales a lot right now. So I'm going through a sales course. So I'm 50% through right now. My goal is to get it wrapped up by the end of this month. But every time I make it to a new part, right? 30% done, 20% done, 50% done, I'm taking people through the journey and telling them the story and the different things that I'm learning in that course. So create the content and the stories out of your life. What do you have going on right now? How are you preparing for the holidays? How are you preparing for 2024? What are some things that you're doing in your life, right? Story content thrives on LinkedIn. So tell stories. And if you need help digesting your stories into something that could be a little bit more acceptable on LinkedIn, you can always use ChatGPT and be like, "Hey, ChatGPT, can you rewrite this post for LinkedIn?" And it'll give you language that will be a little bit more acceptable on that platform and a little bit more professional. Right. So I love to use that for that. The other thing that I love, y'all, and y'all will see it if you go connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you haven't yet and you're watching this and you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook, go on over to LinkedIn and connect with me. You want to make sure that you're connected with me there. But I love to do polls on LinkedIn. It's one of my favorite things to do. And the reason I love to do polls is it gets the engagement going, right? So I'll do polls that are like I did a poll for this live training. Hey, I'm hosting this live training. You want to come? And then I'll say yes or no in the answers, and people can select. Or I'll do a poll and ask where, how people are feeling about something. Like I did a poll a few months ago because I'm noticing that there's a lot of fear and anxiety and doubt in the diversity, equity, inclusion field. So I did a poll and I said, how are people feeling about the field? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling like there's a lot of work to be done? And people could mark what they want on there, right? It gets engagement on my profile, but also it lets me see what people are thinking. And that's what I love about LinkedIn polls because it'll tell you who put what. It's not an anonymous poll. So it'll say Geronda said this, right? It'll say Lydia said that. It gives you a list of names of how people have answered the question. So what does that do for you as a business owner? What does that do for you as a speaker and a consultant? You can then go over to LinkedIn and say, everybody who said yes to this poll, I'm going to ask them why they said yes. I'm going to get in conversation with them, right? And it makes it easier because you actually have something to talk about. The one thing I can't stand, y'all, and I don't know about y'all, is when someone wants to get in conversation with me and we ain't got nothing to talk about. Can we get on a call? Can I get you on a Zoom call? No, boo. What we talking about? Right. So for me, if I know I can help someone, I want to help them. So if I do a poll and I'm asking about how you're feeling in the DI field, and you said you're feeling stressed out, and I know someone who's hosting a meditation or a retreat that can help you, I'm going to give you that information. So use things with strategy and with integrity. That's what I want y'all to think about, right? Like strategy and integrity.